Welcome to my November 2022 update on the latest current account and bank offers and news. I've got some bank switching deals to tell you about in a moment, up to 250 quid on offer. There's also a £75 business account special deal as well, which might apply to some of you. Before we get onto that though, I want to quickly just tell you a couple of little tidbits of information that's worth knowing about. Monese is a digital current account, spoken about it here before on the channel. One of the reasons you might want to have a Monese account is most months, not every month, the date does move. Normally it's from the 16th to the 30th of the month, give or take, somewhere in that last 2 weeks. They offer discounts on gift cards. And if you're fast, because often there are a limited number of these, you can get often up to 20% off. John Lewis, Sainsbury's, Asda, M&S, a whole range of different gift cards. That is a really hefty discount. If you're going to use it on things you're going to be spending money on anyway, particularly the supermarkets, it's a great way to save money. I say, happens most months and normally 20%. The offer that ran at the end of last month was different. If you have the free Monese account, the discount was just 10%. That's not bad, right? If you're getting 10% off your shopping, that's going some way to combat some of those inflation we've seen over the last few months and throughout this year. But to get a higher amount, only 15, 20 wasn't on offer. But to get that 15% off, you have to the next level up. It's called the Classic membership of Monese. Now, this will normally cost $5.95 every single month. You can sign up for 1 month and then sign back down to the free version, the other version, so you don't pay it every single month if you don't want to. But if you have that one, you had access to 15% off. And in fact, it does seem that people are able to get on that kind of paid membership access to both the deals. So again, not many of them, they do run out pretty fast. Within an hour or so of it being launched, they were getting 15% off and sometimes the 10% offers. So I'm letting you know about that change. I do think it's worth getting a free Monese account for these deals when they come along. As soon as I hear about them, I do post it over on social media, on Instagram, on Twitter, and in the Facebook community. So they're all great places to join and follow me at Andy Clever Cash on most of those to find out, or just make sure you've got the email settings, check your inbox because they will send you those communication preferences that way. Another change to tell you about is around Avios to Nectar points. Now, I spoke about this in detail in my credit card update the other day because most of the time this is only going to impact people who have who collect Avios or Amex reward points on credit cards. If that's you, check out that before the 16th of November because that's your deadline you've got for swapping. The rate is changing to a not quite as good one. It's still decent, but it's not as good as it was. This affects a small number of people who have the Barclays Premier current account with Avios rewards. There won't be many of you, so I'll just touch on this briefly. This one, to have this thing, you have to pay £12 a month to get this. And in return, you get 1,500 Avios every single month. Those Avios points, if converted into Nectar, used to be worth 12 points. So basically, you were cancelling out your fee. It didn't make a difference at all. Now they'll be worth £10, so you will be making a slight loss there. You might want to reassess whether you want to have Avios rewards and continue with that, or whether you want to swap to Blue Rewards, which gives you access to 5.12% paying savings account and up to 5k, which is worth, if you have the full 5k in there, that's worth 263 quid over a year. Incidentally, while we are talking about linked savers accounts for current accounts, again, I won't go into detail here because I did talk about them in my last savings update. But if you have a Club Lloyds current account, you can now get a 5.25% paying savings account, regular savers account, up to £400 in there every single month. That's fantastic. If you have a Lloyds account or a Bank of Scotland account, you can get access to 4.5% paying regular savers. So they are nice little extras you get. HSBC also launched a 3% paying account up to 10k you can put in there, but it drops to 0.5% if you take money out in any single month and then back up the following month. Although you don't need a current account for that one, you can get away with just having an HSB savings account, a different savings account to access that. One last thing to tell you about before we get onto the offers is this relates to Curve. Curve is something I used to be a massive fan of, but some changes that took place in January, as I detailed in my review, made it less appealing. Still, I think worth getting it as a kind of a backup, a spare card, maybe for when you go overseas. However, one extra has come in since that review in June. I'm not sure when this happened, but they now charge for free accounts $4.99 for delivery of that card. Now, there are a number of special offers out there, cashback sites, referral codes, all these kind of things, where you can get £5 back. So I guess you still get that card for free if you take advantage of all of those things. But just worth knowing about if you're interested in getting it for that free version, which I think is the only one worth getting, you are actually going to stump out a £5 to get that card now. Right, let's get on to these special offers. And I'll start off with a business bank account offer. This is not a switching deal, but this is open to anyone who is a sole trader or has a limited company. And sole traders, basically that could potentially be someone who sells things on eBay every now and again, or a little side hustle you've got that doesn't necessarily make a huge amount of money, but you're doing this anyway. Now, if you are eligible, you can apply for a brand new tied business account. And if during that application you enter the code reform, there are a few variations out there of this with little extra letters on the end. So if for some reason reform doesn't work, get on Google and just look for some different options, but that one should be fine. You enter that during your application, and then once you're accepted, if you spend £300 on your debit card, your new tied business debit card in the first 60 days, first 3 months, sorry, 3 months, not 60 days, you will get that £75 bonus. Now these new terms, this spending £300, that started at the beginning of November, actually was running in October, where you just had to add £1 to the account to get it, which is much easier. It was very popular in the Facebook community, becleveryourcash.com/community if you do want to join. However, that terms have now changed, but it's still worth telling you about it, worth giving it a go. It does seem most people, that application was very quick, almost instant. Some people I've seen being asked to prove they have got a business of some kind, maybe showing that they are doing a self-assessment and things like that. So just bear in mind, you might have to prove it, but a lot of people aren't. And spend that £300 on that debit card, 75 quid is yours. No switching needed. Now let's get on to switching deals. I'll let you know about some that have finished since the last video. RBS, NatWest and TSB, they have all gone. They have now finished. You cannot switch them. I'm sure the NatWest and RBS ones will be back in 2023, and I'll obviously let you know here on the channel when they are. Another deal ends, and if you're watching this as soon as I release the video, you have got a day left to get it. It ends on Monday the 14th of November. That is the Lloyds switching offer. Apply for a Club Lloyds current account, meet a few different criteria, you get 150 quid and obviously access to that 5.25% regular saver that I mentioned earlier on. But that does end. I'm releasing this on Sunday night. On the Monday tomorrow, that's the last time you're able to get that. Again, it will be back at some point next year. I'm pretty sure of it. However, there are 2 new deals worth telling you about. Well, one brand new deal and one improved deal. The brand new deal is from HSBC. Now, they used to be one who were running switching offers constantly, but they actually haven't offered anything since July until now, until just the last week. You can now get £200 for switching to HSBC. That is right up there at the top with Nationwide. But it gets better. Potentially get 250 quid. Let me explain how to do that. You could obviously just go and apply for the HSBC Advance account from the HSBC website. Okay, fine, go and do that. But if you go via the cashback site Quidco, instead, you will be able to get £40 cashback. So you apply, get accepted for the account, get your 40 quid cashback from Quidco, then do the switch and you'll get that £200. But even better, if you are new to Quidco, you have not used the cashback site before, I've managed to blag from Quidco a special £10 welcome bonus. So if you apply via that link, and this is all linked to over an article on the blog, so make sure you do go over there to find that link and click through. It's only until the 27th of November, this extra £10. Apply via that link, join Quidco, then search for HSBC within Quidco and follow their normal steps. Then you'll be getting 250 quid for this switching deal. Now you might be thinking, hang on Andy, aren't there other switching offers, so welcome offers available for Quidco? Yes, there are. In fact, I've got one worth up to £17 on my site if you sign up for my newsletter. However, that requires a £10 purchase, the £17 one. So yes, you'll get more money, but you've got to spend some money. This HSBC offer, that does not have any spending with it, so that will not track. So you have to make sure, if you are interested in joining Quidco, to get that £10, then that £40, then that £200, you have to go via that specific HSBC welcome offer to Quidco that I've got linked on becleverwithyourcash.com. Okay? You'll find it in the HSBC switching offer review. That's what it is, but I will link to it below as well. 250 quid you can get. Now, obviously, that's just the cashback bit. The £200 switching offer has its terms and conditions that you have to follow, but they are relatively easy. You have to switch over 2 direct debits or 2 standing orders. And this is unlike most of the others that require something, because a direct debit, you might have spare ones sitting around. I've got a whole video taking you through some of those direct debits you can set up very fast for a quick turnaround, so you've got them if you haven't got any spare ones. But you can forget that with this, because you can have 2 standing orders. A standing order is literally money that you set up to transfer from your one current account to a savings account, to another current account, to your partner, whatever it might be. You can transfer that money on a standing order, have another standing order that sends it straight back. Doesn't matter, very easy. So that's going to be pretty simple. You will have to pay in £1,500 into this account. But again, you should be able to do that in more than one lump sum. So you don't have to do it in a single go. So that again should be relatively easy for most people to do this. Now, if you do all of that within 60 days. So the switch has to take place within 30 days of opening the account. The money has to be paid in within 60 days. Then you will get that money pretty fast, within 30 days of the switch completing. Obviously, as with many of these accounts, do read the full terms and conditions. Some exclusions. You cannot have had an HSBC account since the 1st of January 2019 and could not have opened a First Direct account since the 1st of January 2019. So if you had a First Direct account prior to the 1st of January, that's fine. If you open it since, rules you out, and an HSBC account since that day, whether it's still open or not, that will also rule you out. You might also find that this one, the HSBC Advance account, has maybe slightly stricter application terms. I've seen a few people talking about not being accepted, more people getting accepted than rejected, but you have to be eligible for the overdraft. You don't use the overdraft, absolutely don't use it. It's about 40% interest, but you have to be accepted for an overdraft in order to get this account, and you have to be able to pay in £1,750 every single month to keep it. So some people may not be eligible for it. So if you have any major applications on the way in terms of credit, I would avoid it. Mortgage reapplications, any of those things, don't do these anyway, but it's worth bearing that in mind. So again, more details on that on the blog. The other one to tell you about is from the Co-operative Bank. Now, they have been running for quite a while now, about a year, I think, a £50 refer a friend scheme. You have to be referred by an existing Co-op customer and then switch your bank, and you would both get 50 quid, which is quite nice, right? They've upped it, more than doubled it. £125 you will both get. And there is no limit if you have a Co-operative Bank current account, no limit how many people you can refer to get that. So that could be a nice little money earner for you if you have one of these accounts already. And I would imagine that most people haven't already got a cooperative account. It's not personally, in my view, a great one to have. So imagine this is the one where a lot of people can open one up, get that switching deal and get that money. But you do have to get that referral information from your friends. You need their name, their email address, their sort code, and their account number. All that information needs to be put into a form. So again, if you know anyone who has an account, get in touch with them, see if you can both make a little bit of money from this. They're the two new ones to tell you about. Nationwide still running at £200. Remember, you can get that more than once. You can get it for a solo account and for a joint account. And the other one is First Direct with 175 quid. I would imagine now as we get into Christmas, maybe we won't see any more new ones. You never know, might be surprised. And more will happen in the new year. But I will let you know in these updates, and make sure you do hit subscribe to the channel so you get every single one of those. My name is Andy Webb. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you've been taking advantage of any of these switching deals, and check out these videos right here to help you get the most from your banking.